Hello and welcome to another YouTube trading recap video. So this is going to be a recap of Friday the 13th's trades. So my first trade was on Pixy, P-I-X-Y, which was pretty short the leading gapper for Friday morning. So I'll show you the daily candles first. As you can see, this stock has a pattern of having big breakout volume and having massive price action. As you can see, over 2 days here it went from $2.50 up to $6. Here it went from $3.40 up to $5.20. Here $2.80 up to $6.40. So it's a well-known gap up, make a massive price move to the upside, and then crack back down straight away. I would have been loving to short this once it was up near its highs, however, there was just no shorts available again, so couldn't profit off that because it's a very good chance within a week or so it'll be back down to $3 area, which you could make, like 60-70% on your money, but there's no shorts available, you can't do anything about it. So, but yeah, as you can see, once it sort of breaks this $4 area, you could expect, which is here in the white line, you could expect it to come and reach these 520s or possibly 620 area. So that's what I was looking at for the day. We'll go back to the 1 minute candles. So it was pre-market, it was getting stuffed at this $4 area, which is that same area where I said if it breaks that, you're looking at it to hit the 520 or the 620 area. I got in a bit too early, however, so I got in on 9:31. So yeah, it was getting stuck at this pre-market. If it broke this $4 area, look for it to surge and hold this $4 area as support, basically. So 9:30, I saw it come up and it looked like it was starting to sell off. I thought it was going to come and retest these lows, which it ended up doing. But in this second candle, it's hard to tell here because you probably need a shorter time frame than 1 minute, but it was dipping down here in the first minute, and then the second minute it just absolutely surged. The volume was surging, as you can see, up near 500,000 shares sold in that second minute of trading, and it was surging up and it was approaching this $4 area real quick. And this is what I shouldn't have done because I really don't have enough experience yet, but I was buying in anticipation of the $4 breakout. That didn't work out because there were too many sellers around this $4 area at the beginning of the day looking to short it. Obviously some brokers had shorts available, mine didn't, however, and then all the shorts jumping in just pushed this price right back down, and I was buying in this 392, just below, 6 cents below the breakout line, and it went up a little bit more and then it just crashed back down, and I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't have my orders ready, and I didn't get out quick enough. I ended up getting out around here where these sort of lows consolidate at 365-ish. Would have liked to have just gotten out up here, 380-ish, where it broke a new low for the day. Like when the market opened, it broke a new low, but I couldn't get out quick enough. So that was like a $60-70 loser. And then later on in the day, like I said, I just got my timing wrong. About 10 o'clock, which is midnight here, broke out of that $4 area and then held it basically perfectly, and then it surged up higher to 450. Then I think it ended up going higher on throughout the day, but I wouldn't have traded that anyway. Yeah, I should have been buying it here where there was a big volume again, but the trend was showing a good uptrend. If I bought it through here and held through here and sold it up to the 450, would have ended up being a nice trade, making 12-13%, which would have been a lot better. But yeah, like I said, I just timed it wrong. And you can see how obvious these support and resistance lines are when you look at this stock, because look, this is acting as clear resistance pre-market, and then once it broke, it was acting as a clear support. Look how many times it bounced off this $4 area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in the span of 4 hours. It bounced off this same level and then didn't touch it again for the rest of the day. So yeah, it was unfortunate, just timed it wrong, but that's how these things work sometimes. So I forgot to mention on this Pixie stock, PIXY, that I actually did buy on this breakout. I ended up buying at $4.05. I think it was when it broke, and then it dropped back down here. I was buying at $4.05, and then I sold up here at $4.15 because it had come to a high, and then it had made a lower high, and then it kept dropping, and I was worried, so I was just looking to get out just near the highs, which were, yeah, $4.15. So bought here on the pullback and then sold up to the little rip, which made back about $50 of that. So I ended up down 20 on this stock for the day. So it's good to make a little bit of money back there, but I probably should have held this, trusting in the pattern, trusting that this $4 line would have held, and if it did break this $4 line with volume, I would have sold out. But yeah, I should have held it and up for that move to the 450. But yeah, that was my second trade I forgot to mention on PIXY. So the next stock I traded was CEI. So I bought 3,000 shares at 68 cents, and I sold them at 63.5 cents. Same sort of thing on the daily candles. It was just a big mover for the day. It was breaking that downtrend pattern as it was surging up with the volume as well. Like the last week's been relatively quiet, and then we have this 30-40 million share trading day. So you're looking for it to break out of this downtrending line. You're not 100% sure how high it's going to go. Possibly test this 90 cent area, but it didn't. But yeah, so it was breaking out with volume, and it was one of the leading gappers on the day. So we'll go back to the minute candles. So basically, you should never chase stocks when they're doing a massive surge, and I broke my own rule. So this 50 cent, again, half a full dollar value, a big psychological resistance and support lines. In this case, it was acting as resistance. It did this nice cup and handle pattern, which I'll go through some patterns later on. But as you can see, the cup, that's where all the liquid's held, and then it comes down for the handle, and then once you break out of that handle, then it's a good long pattern. So I was watching this to break out, and I was watching this the whole time. It just didn't have that 1 minute pullback where I was looking to buy. So every time it surged and it came up to here, for example, I would be putting my order down here at 52 cents. It would dip down a little bit, and then it would surge back up, and then again I'd be putting my order around here, 55 cents, and then it'd dip back down a little bit, but it never dipped down enough to fill my order, which was a shame, because if I bought it down here, it would have been a nice big profit. It would have been 26% profit. But I didn't. I chased it at the exact wrong time. So I was looking for a little pullback all through here, and then by the time I got up here, I went, nah, stuff it, I'm just going to buy it, and I bought it around the 68 cent mark. Don't know why. It was a resistance point too. I'm assuming I was looking for the break of the resistance point and then another surge, but I should have been expecting that when it's already had this much volume and it's already moved 25%. I shouldn't have been looking for that. After a 25% move, the resistance point is probably going to be a fairly solid resistance point, because it's already used a lot of steam up on the day. But yeah, I bought perfect wrong time, right near the top, came back down. I had to stop out 63 cents because it was starting to pull back, and I was expecting it to pull back around this 13-day EMA or the VWAP, which is down here at 57 cents, which would be a whole 12-13% loss. So I stopped out before that at 63 cents, came back down, and then I was basically I was just buying and selling in here, buying 3,000, sold it back up here, which made back a little bit of my money. Then I was shorting, bought back in and covered my position here. Basically I was making a few trades. I lost another one trade, and I think I made money on 2 or 3, but overall I ended up down on this stock pretty significant, $250. So it wasn't a good trade. Yeah, shouldn't have been chasing it. Coming in a resistance point, and I was buying after this 30% surge. Really stupid trade. But yeah, again, learn from my mistakes, learn from your own. best way to learn basically. And the last stock I traded was BIOC. So on the daily candles, it had been downtrending, been having this downtrend, that had a recent reverse split, which is basically a way for, say a company's selling 10 million shares, it's a way for them to increase their stock price by reducing how many shares they have available. So for example, they want to reduce their shares down from 10 million to 1 million, well, they then need to increase their stock price by 10 times the amount. So it's basically a way for stocks to not look as cheap and trashy and put them as a higher value stock, but yeah, you don't realise that there's less shares available to buy because they've compressed the shares down to increase the price of the shares. So that's why it had this spike here, because it was a reverse split. Then it had this dropping day the second day, and then the third day it broke out of these last 2 days highs around the 850, again $half value, and it was making new highs. So I was looking for it with the break over 850, would have been a good trade. As you can see, this 850 area was what was holding the stock down pre-market. It was acting as the resistance line. It bounced once, basically three times, and then once the stock opened, it sort of just consolidated around this point, and then it got a massive inrush of volume, pushed it over this 850 area straight to a volatility halt. I didn't get to catch any part of that move. It was too quick for me, and I was watching other stocks and trading other stocks. However, I bought it. When was the first time I bought it? Alright, so I'm just going to go off memory here, because the problem with where it says I bought and sold doesn't tell me the times where they actually got filled, which is a pain. But I basically bought around this 960, 980 area, around here, as it was looking to break out again of this section here, which I got hold of it, and I sold it up to here, the 1030. That was a nice move, nice 50-cent move, 6% return. Then this stock was pulling back. I was expecting it to hit these 960, 970 area again, but then make that act as a support line. I wasn't expecting it to get below that, and this 13-day EMA here. I was expecting this to hold, so I was buying here at 985, 980, and I was looking for it to basically do what this did here. However, it dipped below that, so I stopped out at 963, lost a little bit of money, and yeah, they were my trades for this. I was looking for it to, yeah, obviously stocks have pullbacks as they move up in a trend, but I wasn't expecting this to pull back that far. Even if you look at this trend like that, see how it broke below this point, it showed it was bearish for that 1 minute, but then it just sort of faked people out, and then it surged up in volume again, and then treated this support line right up to 1120, which would have been a 16% increase. So basically just got a little bit unlucky there, stopped out a little too early. That's where it's hard to tell, where if you let it run, you don't know if it's going to quickly come back down and hit 930 or even drop below, which would be a 5-6% loss. So you try to set your stops tight and cut them if they start breaking points of trends and supports. So yeah, stopped out there, and then it just sort of faked out and made new highs. So got a bit unlucky there, because yeah, it didn't just stop here at 960, it came right down to 930. So if you were willing to hold for that drop, that is a substantial unrealized loss you would have had, hoping that it was going to come back up. But so I stopped out of that. I ended up going up $70-80 on this stock. Pixie I went down 30, and then CEI, which was the first one, went down about 280, which is not good. So end up on the day down $280, which is not the best, but got a bit unlucky, and I have been a bit rusty because I haven't traded in a while. So hopefully we trade most of next week. I always say this, but it's real hard to get up in the mornings, and yeah, we'll look to keep doing more videos and providing value. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.